Hi Virgo, it's Lynn from Tinker Tarot and Cartomancy, and I'm here to do your birthday reading, September 2025. Some of you are August babies, and some of you are September babies. But anyway, what a good reading to get. So, you know what? I didn't look it up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got to look it up right now. I usually do this ahead of time. But there it is. So you have an opportunity to thrive. Trust in all that you have to offer, all of your gifts, strength, and power, and make the most of it. You were born to lead, and this can only become reality when you are willing to put yourself in that position. Stag energy allows you to feel safe because the antlers keep away anything that could interfere with your intelligence and your presence. And their strength gives you the power to be agile in your thinking. So, there you go. Trust and thrive is the main message. And then you got the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is the best, one of the best cards you can get. It's positivity, it's celebration, it's union, it's happiness, it's emotional, um, um, what's the word I'm looking for? It's it's a good card. It's the wish card. You know, what you want is coming true finally. Because in the nine, in September, we're in the nine, and this year, 2025, is also a nine. So this is where things are going to change for sure. You needed to learn the lessons of the one through to eight before you were ready to make the change. But I think you've been thinking about it, processing it, and you had some lessons to learn before you were ready. So now you're ready. You know, now's the time. And in your birthday time too. Along with that nine of, I'm going to take this in threes. You have the 10 of swords, the ace of swords, and the world. So the Ten of Swords is when we're freeing ourselves, you know, from pain. You know, if you were in a situation that was painful, perhaps you've had health issues, relationship ended, could be many things, but uh, in some ways it limited you, hurt you, and now you're freeing yourself from this. You're using this sword to do it. This sword is seeking and not just seeking, but opening yourself up to peace, truth, and harmony. The Ace of Swords is like a new offering, an olive branch. Let's start again, a new way to communicate, a new way to receive, too, you know. You could be signing a contract even, but there's definitely something new, more peaceful and happy, that is being offered to you at this time. And then with the world says you're completing a chapter, you know, and you're beginning a new one. The world says you've learned all the lessons that you've needed to learn through this cycle you've been through, you know, and you're ready to begin again. So it's a card of completion for sure, you know, and ready for the new, which is exactly what the nine is. Exactly. Then the other three cards you got in the Morgan Greer, you have the Seven of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Fool. So there's that beginning, right? From the world. The world is the end of the chapter. The Fool is the beginning. And it's, you know, because you've learned. The Hierophant learns. You also might be doing something new, for an organization. It could be a place like a government entity in some way. You're definitely going to have choices here of what you'd like to do and where and how. And I think that you may take an opportunity to learn something, to gather some new intel, some new skills, some new information. Not sure. I feel like part of this is a learning card so that you can turn around and offer it to others. It's something new for you for sure. So the door is definitely opening here. In the body of the tarot, in the recent past or in the past, could still be happening a little bit even now. First of all, you have the Page of Cups, the Hermit, and the Two of Wands. So the Page of Cups is this bit of a self-discovery card, because we're looking at ourselves with beauty, with admiration. We like ourselves, we accept who we are. And in the Hermit, when we meet the Hermit, we are looking a bit deeper even, and it's self-reflection of, and you've been from here to here. You've been through an experience of some sort that now you're looking for the right path. Okay, you want to be able to see things clearly, so you're thinking a lot, you're giving this a lot of consideration. Okay. And the Two of Wands is kind of the meeting. The meeting with the Hierophant here is the guide. We're getting advice, we're getting that support, but it's also a meeting. It could be a partnership. You're meeting with someone to develop your skills or develop what you're doing exactly, because the wands is usually work or your creative ambitions, something that you feel passionate about. And in the Hierophant, or I mean in the Centaur here, um, you see the Centaur in the Hierophant usually, and it's a wise person. They they have they're a healer too as well. So you also have the Lovers, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Lovers is a choice. Usually we have to choose a direction, a person, a place, a job. We have to make a decision. And so you're making a decision here. And I think that you're following something you love at this point. Sometimes we make decisions because we need security, we need stability, we want partnership, and in this situation, there's something about, it doesn't have to mean another person, because it can be really about yourself. Okay. And so I feel like you're choosing because you have another Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups has loving messages, is kind, is learning the language of love. They express themselves beautifully. Let's say I think of a poet or a laureate sometimes when I think of the Page of Cups. So you might be getting some really lovely messages, beautiful support. Um, but also, again, I think this is, knowing who you are, appreciating yourself. They say you're ready for love when you love yourself. When you finally accept yourself and love yourself, you're really ready for love to meet another. And then the Queen of Pentacles. I see, and this could be you, Virgo, since you're Earth. I see this person as very independent. They can do things themselves. They don't need a husband or a wife if you're male. They can handle the business, the home, the family, the animals. They're very organized and self-sufficient and successful, usually successful. So I feel like that whatever this is kind of your own baby. This is something that you've developed, you've taken care of, you've got your idea, in some way, and it's you, because you could have, even if you're in a relationship, you could have your own business, you could be having your own house, you could do it all on your own without anybody's help. Although you may appreciate a relationship, but you don't need one. Okay. Then in the present, you have the Five of Wands, King of Cups, and the Sun in the Mythic Tarot. Now, the Five of Wands, like it shows like there's some kind of competition. There could be a competitive nature in what you're becoming involved in. And so there might be other people out for this reward, this job, this person you're interested in, perhaps. This looks like very romantic energy. The Knight of Cups is going to confess their love to whoever, no matter what the answer is. You know, they know how they feel and they have to express themselves. And then you have the Sun. The Sun is like another wish card. You know, it's success, it's happiness, it's, and that doorway, right? It looks like you've done the work, and maybe on yourself, perhaps, maybe about relationships, and but there's something really good that's going to come out of this work that you've done, you know. Oh, and this could be physical work. You know, you might have created something, you might have made music, you might have built a building, you might have, you know, whatever it is. I think that it's a creative effort for sure, because we have the Knight of Cups, we have the Fool, and the Two of Wands is like trying to master something new, trying to master something new. So figure it out. You also have the Page of Swords, the King of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. That's the other thing I want to say. I noticed there's a lot of people in your reading, like you're surrounded by friends, family. There seems to be a lot of people in your life, and maybe this is part of that emotional energy you want. You want to connect with people, you want to see people, you miss people. I want to see my friends, I want to do things, I don't want to just sit home at night. So you're looking for that connection, you know. So in the Page of Swords, the Page of Swords is when we are required, usually, to tell a harsh truth, you know? And I see it in this competitive situation, you know. Usually it shows people all having an idea and want their idea to be heard, to be the one that they use. And so it's very competitive, and selling yourself in a way. But you, I think, are true to yourself right now. For one thing, you're not going to use gimmicks and stuff to promote yourself or your work. I think it's honesty, straight to the point, and maybe, like, you know, it's kind of like brutal honesty. You know, doesn't mean it's hard or brash. It just means it's, you say what you mean and you mean what you say, you know. So cutting through any of the baloney. And then the Two Kings. So there could be some honesty spoken between these two people. This could be yourself, King of Pentacles, with the King of Cups. Now you've already had the Page of Cups here twice, and the Knight of Cups. So there's a lot of emotional energy, and so it looks like it's time for uh, um, honesty at this point, and also peace. This could be a partnership you're getting into, whether it's a work partnership, maybe you're communicating online or something, sharing ideas. You feel the same way about something, you share a passion. It also could be attraction. You know, there could be something developing here between these two kings. And these two are mature. Like the kings are mature. They've been through all of the previous cards in the suit and learned all the lessons of their suit. So they've mastered something here. And there's discussion, there's communication going on. I think there's something good coming out of this. It could be the development of something new that will help people, I think, or help people, um, but there's money in it. In the future, near the end of September, you have the Knight of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Ten of Swords. So you got the Ten of Swords before in the cards that dropped out, and that's that end of any painful situation that doesn't feel good anymore. You don't like being there, working there, being in that relationship, whatever. And so this is when you have the courage finally to stand up and move on, right? But here, let's go back. First is the Knight of Wands and the High Priestess. So the Knight of Wands is definitely high energy, really wants to take off and take action right now, do it right now. It's very quick energy too, like fast moving. And there's something about, I kind of feel like you're preparing for the next 6 months, okay, or 5 or 6 months. You're preparing, you want to get ready and prepare for the months to come. Maybe it's the winter or something about the season. I also feel like you're trusting this is highly instinctual. You know it's the right time to move on this. You want to take action. Like I said, it's the 9, and you've gained a lot of experience, and you know that the time is right because we have the Fool as well, right? So you know the time is right to take action. And this is going to help in your healing as well. Then you have the Eight of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Four of Cups. So the Eight of Wands is you may get news about something you've applied for. It's something that you hear either, you know, through your phone or on news or whatever, an offer perhaps that comes in that you need to act very swiftly, hence the Knight energy. It's on top of the Knight, and this is acting very swiftly, going after something. You could be traveling too, but I feel like you're taking action on something that came in and you have like a week to move or 3 days to move on it. It's just like bang. All right. And then the Ten of Cups is very happy. You trusted your instincts. I feel like it's a moving on card because the 10 is completion, but this is a happy ending. You're happy to leave, you're happy to move on, you're happy to start again. And I feel like it's in the next 6 months. There's something there about the next 6 months, okay? Because I feel like you got to get ready and you got to start doing stuff, and you maybe have to sign papers. It could have to do with this couple here, these two guys that might own a place, um, or own a business, something like that. And then the Ten of Swords and the Four of Cups. So Ten of Swords is, again, like I said, it's completion. You got a lot of tens here, right? So, and aces with the Fool and those pages, that new energy, wanting to learn something new. And so you're moving past, and also too, the Ten of Swords, I want to say, is a boundary that other people put on you. So other people say, well, you couldn't run a business. And you're like, why couldn't I? They doubt you, they put limits on you, and you free yourself from them. You say, no, I could run a business. I'm going to run a business. That's what I'm going to do. And it's not to prove them, but you want to expand yourself now. You're ready to expand, you're ready to grow and unfold in a way, and unfold. Okay. And then here in the Four of Cups, there's this beautiful golden cup being held out to you. You've been offered these cups before, but they haven't been completely satisfying. It's not really what you're looking for. And this golden cup that's being offered is. So you're moving toward that golden cup. It's like, yes, I can get the golden cup. Yes, I can. Yes, yes. That's what me and my sister do. I do that to drive her crazy. She just want to hit me. But anyway, so wow, what a good reading. Like success, you know, happiness, happy ending, and obviously this new chapter starting that it just takes you you forget about any gloominess or challenges after, you really have a lot of faith in this new thing coming. In your cartomancy, the King of Swords jumped out for you. The King of Swords could be a legal person. This could be a lawyer, could even be a doctor, but I'm kind of seeing legal in a way. They see all the details. This person could be older. They could be single, not by choice, separated, widowed, or divorced. This could be you also, Virgo. And this person's quite serious. They have been hurt before, so they guard their heart. They're careful, you know, but they're very, um, this person like is straight to the point. They don't mess around with words and, dilly dally and put sugar on stuff. They just like say it as it is kind of thing. And I think you like that in a way. Then you have the Eight of Hearts, the Ace of Spades, and the Two of Clubs. Now, this Ace of Spades was in reverse, and I decided to leave it that way because just the way the other cards were. So the Eight of Hearts is love talk, it's support, it's friendship, it's you know it's help, verbally. And I think this is about not ending something. Someone is speaking to you about not ending something. Also, you may be talking about ending something, but on a good note. You don't want it to be nasty or, bad, leave a bad taste in your mouth sort of thing. So you're trying to do this as smoothly as possible. And then there's a meeting here. The Two of Clubs is a business meeting. You're talking about your new options, your new partner. That could be partnership with someone, because it looks like you're leaving something behind and entering something new. Um, you may have to meet even about ending something. If you're ending a contract, ending a lease, ending an agreement of some sort. But I feel like it turns out pretty good. Like this is the most peaceful ending I've ever seen. And you work it out. You work it out. So, wow. And I like that the very first card said trust and thrive. So it's about trusting how you feel, your instincts, trusting your instincts, and thrive and move on. That's a very nice card to get, that stag. So happy birthday, Virgo. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope the reading helps you in the weeks to come. Let me know if you'd like to. And congratulations. What an awesome reading. Bye now.